Hi, my name is Ajanique Royal, and today I'm going to talk to you about my self reflection utilizing the RISE model. R is for reflect or recognize. In class, I believe that mentally I was there a majority of the time. I made sure that I paid attention. I looked at my assignments at the very beginning of the week, acknowledged when the due dates were, and started them early. However, there was about a week in between there where I wasn't so focused, and that was purely because of my job. But I still ensured that I got my work done and that I gave it the best effort. I did not attend any of the live sessions due to the shift that I work, so I was unable to attend. But I made sure that I watched the live recordings because that's very important and it'll give you a lot of information about the rest of the week for all the assignments. I honestly would watch them about one or two times just because I wasn't there. I didn't attend the live ones where you ask all the questions you wanted. And sometimes I wouldn't even hear everything. So I ensured that I watched it a few times. My overall attitude for the class, I believe, was very optimistic and positive. I say that because, well, I was happy for almost every assignment. I was eager to do it. There was a point where I was nervous, and that's because the class overall was so open, and that's unfamiliar to me, especially at an introduction class. But I think for the most part, I kicked it into gear and successfully completed it. The effort to complete some of the assignments was kind of in the middle. Some of them I was like, yes, I got this, and I would just write it out. It'd just pop in my head, and I knew what to write. But this is the intro to media communications class, and creativity is definitely encouraged. When it comes to writing, I can just write out, just really quick. However, we had to reach outside of the box, and with one of the assignments, which in particular, the one I'm speaking on is the viral non-contest video. That one was a bit difficult for me, and that's only because I was in front of the camera. I'm accustomed to being in front of the camera if it's scripted. For example, in high school, I was in journalism and we had our own news station. And that wasn't a problem because I knew exactly what my talking points were and go from there. But with the viral contest video, it was just open. The video would be about whatever you want to. You be in front of the camera, you use Final Cut Pro and all the other programs and software that you're able to utilize for it. And I was nervous. But I was able to make people laugh, and I stepped outside of my comfort zone, and I felt proud of my assignment. So I am so happy that this class overall is so open to creativity. Talking about my motivation, I think that I was clearly motivated, but I lacked the confidence in my ability. I felt that I wasn't creative enough at times, and I wouldn't be able to make the viral contest video to where the audience would like it or want to watch it again. I understand how to get people to do it, but being in front of the camera, I was just shocked. If you see how many retakes I had to do, it's pretty funny. But after this class, I believe that my confidence in stepping outside of the box is definitely increasing. I is for inquire. And I believe that I checked my assignments every Monday. I actually started my assignments early. I kept a calendar, but I believe that I need to do a different method. The calendar I kept was on my Mac. The only time I utilize my computer is when I'm doing homework. Majority of the time, I have my phone on me, and it's smaller, it's more convenient. And my iPad, I understand that that's small and convenient too, but I didn't always have Wi-Fi wherever I was. So my phone was what I normally utilize to check homework and to start early. I didn't respond to emails within 24 hours. Normally, when an email is sent out, I'm asleep. And I'm asleep because my shift is from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. So by the time I actually saw them, it was at the end of the night. And so that's on me for not setting an alarm to get up to actually check it. I didn't check it twice a day. I would check it once a day, but I did not check it twice a day. I normally submit my work 1 to 2 hours ahead of the deadline. When it comes to my classwork, I'm very particular and I do not like to be late. I try to make sure I do everything that I can to get the best grade possible. You should see my face when I don't get how to word this, when it's not what I expected. Not necessarily what I expected, but I try to make sure I get A's every time. That is my goal, to get an A. I'm working on that though, to accept that there's always room for improvement. And while I know that, I don't actually think about that when I'm viewing my assignments for the my feedback and my grades for the first time. I would, if I had a question, I would have no problem contacting my instructor. However, in this course, I didn't have too many questions. I believe that this course was very clear on directions. The only thing that anyone could say was necessarily not so clear was it didn't say specifically you had to do a video. Specifically, you have to write a paper for majority of the assignments. So that may be a little fuzzy, but overall, I was not confused on the assignments, nor was it hard for me to understand. I believe that I met all the requirements on my assignments. My grades definitely reflect, and my feedback. I also had constructive criticism in my feedback, which I greatly appreciated because, as I said earlier, you can always make room for improvements. S for suggest. Now, I suggest that I try a different method to keep up with deadlines and for notification purposes. As I stated earlier, I'm not on my Mac generally unless I'm doing homework at home. I do have my phone, and my phone is loud. The notifications are loud. So I suggest to myself to utilize my phone for the deadlines and just use my computer when it comes to my assignments. I believe that it'll be easier for me, again, because notifications are loud, and on my computer, not so much. And I don't always have Wi-Fi. Your phone, you don't need Wi-Fi. For creating goals, the way I need to create goals is I'm going to take it back to what I learned in my psychology of play class. Every week, one of our assignments was pretty much it was a weekly calendar of what needs to be done. And instead of assigning things by specific times, you just had the top 3 things that was a priority. And then you had one goal for the day that was fitness, one goal for the day that was wellness, one goal for the day that was work, and at the very bottom was one that you must get done. When in that class, I actually kept up on my schedule pretty well because I wasn't constricted to time. I didn't feel that if I didn't get this done exactly at 08 in the morning, then I was going to fail. So that's what I'm going to do. That's the way I'm going to start setting my goals. And I'm going to utilize that in my future classes and also in my personal life. Another one was to make a chart for each class. Now, in the beginning of the introduction to media communications, we were required to create a folder on our desktop of each class that we have in the MCBS program. Well, that worked, and it's great because I can just move all my assignments to that folder and not have it clutter up my desktop. Or if I needed to go back to it for reference, I knew exactly where to go to. So it was a bit more organized, and I really appreciated that. What I'm going to do now, though, is behind me, I have a calendar. and it is empty currently because I am waiting on the next class to open up so that I can actually start inputting information. I look at this calendar every day. So on top of having assignments in my phone about due dates or when I need to begin or is getting close, I will implement using this calendar specifically because I can visually see it. It's there. I don't have to have electronic in my hand to know that this is what needs to be done. So I think that's what I'm going to try going forward for my future classes. And my last bit of suggestion for myself is to play around with the software before the class begins. For instance, I do okay in Adobe Photoshop, but I need to figure out the buttons. I need to figure out which processes work better, create shortcuts for myself. And on top of that, also, I need to get better in Final Cut Pro. So I feel if I play around with the software a little bit more, then I'll figure out what works, what doesn't work, what feels comfortable with motion of hand to make shortcuts, and how I can improve for future assignments. Last but not least is elevate. I feel that I can elevate myself by networking. Networking better than what I did this class and in previous classes. For instance, one of the assignments required that we request to be a part of the Media Communications Bachelor of Science Full Sail Facebook group. Now, there's so much information. After being accepted, I just scrolled down their news feed, their timeline, to see, what is being said, to get a kind of feel, a vibe for the group. And I found so much information that I didn't expect to see. I thought it was going to be random updates about functions at school, but it wasn't just that. I've seen people post about job inquiries. I've seen people post about job listings. I believe one of them was for the Harlem Globetrotters. Don't quote me on that. But I've seen people give support, and people have their own personal events and they're looking for help, things that's going on in the school. If you had questions about assignments, and since they are all the people who were in those programs, they could be a viable source for you. Not only the library, you could use actual people who you can talk to. Another one, again, playing with the software. I'm going to utilize this software all the time once I graduate from college and I'm in my career field. Final Cut Pro, Adobe Photoshop, Illustrator, to get better at Adobe Spark, PowerPoint, Excel, Microsoft Word. There's so much that I can learn from Excel, especially. I'm not too well versed in that. So playing around with the programs and softwares that we are going to utilize and what has been provided for us, I believe will elevate my skills in the industry. It will elevate my skills personally, and it'll have it to where I'm more confident in my abilities and to be able to step outside of the box. That way, employers are more willing to work with me. Another one to elevate, use phone calendar. I don't know if anybody's like me, but I have my phone at all times, mainly because when I'm at work, there are transmission radios that we utilize don't always work. So you have to have your phone on you so that you can be contacted at all times. So I believe that is a great piece of technology to use. I also would elevate by contacting my academic advisor with questions from jump. If I have any questions that I feel that my instructor has not answered to where I can understand, then I can reach out to my academic advisor and maybe I can explain it to them where they can actually convey it to my instructor what's going on, or maybe they have experience. I believe those will definitely elevate my motivation, my skills, and the techniques I utilize going forward in this program and once I'm inside the industry. I think that in class I was proactive when it came to work. I like to get a head start on things. and research, because it helps you so much. In high school, didn't think it did really outside of an English class. Boy, was I wrong. Like, completely wrong. For instance, one of our assignments was the neuromarketing, learning more about it, which techniques they utilize, and how I could utilize and add to my strategy list. One of them is the human component. And I don't mean with as in celebrity endorsement, but just having a regular, everyday type of person come on the screen and tell me why I need a product. It makes me feel as if they're just like me. Oh, this helped them out. Oh, this will definitely help me out. It'll make my life easier as well. So that's one of the things I learned about neuromarketing, one of the components they use. And from then, just researching that, I just went. So I do believe that I'm proactive when it comes to my work. I have good awareness to know what is all required on a rubric. I read it fully and a couple of times because honestly, I miss things. Am I satisfied with my work ethic and progress so far in this class? Yes and no. It's yes and no only because, well, yes, because I honestly gave my all when doing my assignments. No, because I feel like, again, there's always room for improvement. And one of the assignments, it said, creativity is encouraged. But instead of believing in myself and taking that leap that I needed to play out the vision that I had, I just went what I know that I do well in, and that's with writing. So instead of some big skit, I just decided to write it all out in essay form. So I am really glad that this class was open, because it forced me to think outside of the box, to implement my ideas, and to be a bit more confident. When it comes to reviewing instructions, yes, I am a real stickler for rules. So that's how originally just being creative, doing what you feel, however you want to convey your message for the assignment. I was kind of worried because I was like, oh my gosh, these are not clear directions. How am I supposed to move forward? I am accustomed to, okay, so these are the directions for the assignment. Here's the rubric. You must submit this way. Not, you could submit it essay form or video or any other way that you see fit, a PowerPoint. But so glad that I pay attention to instructions and that I actually pay attention to what's in bold, because normally it's not mandatory, but it's encouraged. And when something is encouraged, you'll do well with at least trying it. I don't think I exceeded expectations. Well, I don't believe that I exceeded my own expectations as of yet. Currently, all of my grades have not been put in yet, so I'm not sure. But so far, I've gotten an A on every assignment, so I am happy. But a good amount of my assignments was essay form, which I need to improve. I definitely need to step out of the box and step out of my comfort zone and be okay with being in front of the camera without a script and believing in my ability to be creative. So that is all going forward. I'm so excited to see this video in a month, in 2 months, and as the program continues, to see how much I've grown, if there's progress, or if there wasn't, if I was at a standstill. I'm just eager to learn and to better myself for the industry that I love. But thank you for watching this video, and remember, be yourself and to give yourself the motivation and courage to step outside of the box, because only you can do what you know you can do. Thank you. Have a great day.